Hello, everybody. This is Weekly Word, episode 31, run streak day number 251. It's the 1st of September, the one. And the weekly word this week is actually not a word, it's an acronym MAGIC. The first word in MAGIC is my, which is representative of all the ones I just spoke to. My, M-Y. My active grieving instills courage, magic. Our family had a chance to go to an amazing camp for bereavement for those that have lost an immediate loved one. And we did that this past weekend. And a lot of wonderful things occurred there. We were truly humbled by the opportunity to be there amongst so many amazing people and to connect with others who are traveling a similar journey. One of the things that came out to me during that duration and during that really 2-day experience is something that has inspired me or instilled courage in me to come to you this week to talk about it. So, in a few minutes or less, here's my thoughts. As we all grieve, we all do so in our own ways, and we can do so forever. It's okay. Some of the things that came out during our trip there, as Lori and I had opportunities to talk with other couples and parents who had lost their children, is the idea that everyone has a different grieving timeline also, and you must honor that and communicate about that. And one of the things that came up was that when we received Ainsley's diagnosis in 2005, it was something that immediately started a clock for Lori. As she shared with the group, she saw and heard the word terminal come out of my mouth as I shared with her what I.N.A.D. was all about. And immediately she focused on the word terminal and she hit the button, she said, that was the clock representing her grieving period. As she watched for the next 8 years all the things that happened as a result of I.N.A.D. to Ainsley, she was grieving along the way in that process. It became very interesting as I've done some more research on this that typically grieving is associated purely with loss, meaning someone has passed. But in this scenario, it's different because Lori's clock started immediately after receiving the word terminal in the diagnosis. Ainsley wasn't lost. She was still with us, and she went on for 8 years, of course, to do amazing things and to inspire many of us to do amazing things. Which leads into the acronym MAGIC. My active greeting instills courage. I would submit that for me, and I didn't realize this until this weekend, that my active grieving process had also started, and that I was actively grieving through the wonderful thing that was us getting a chance to run together. So while I was going through that process of acceptance and of learning how to really live with this diagnosis, and as many of you go through your various challenges in life, whether that's a sick child, a sick parent, a sick spouse, loved ones and friends, think about the idea that every single person out there is going to grieve this scenario totally different. And today, we find ourselves with Ainsley not with us in the physical, and we also see that Lori and I continue to grieve in our own different ways. I think the challenge and the key takeaway that we really learned, or I learned through the experience at Camp MAGIC, was that it's how do you take both of those separate grieving processes and eventually either have them link up or merge, or do they just stay separate and communicate about their experiences to help broaden one another's understanding, to help one another to grieve in their own ways, but in this case as a couple. I know that might be a little bit confusing. It may not make the most sense. I hope it does, because the same thing can apply to how we are there for our children as they grieve. So as Briley and Camden attempt to go down this road of grieving, from February 23rd to today is a very short amount of time, but we've had a chance to see how both of them grieve in their own unique and different ways. And as parents, we have to be there to identify other means to help them with their grieving, or just to be there with them. Ultimately, all the while, the idea is to actively grieve, to not shut it in, but to embrace it, so that it in turn can create that level of courage. That courage to go and continue to live here on earth in the flesh, and to continue to honor your loved one that has gone before you, and to continue to make those decisions that allow you to be happy. That's what I got today. Appreciate this opportunity to share this with you. I will be honest, I was hesitant. It's very, very deep. It's very personal. And for the first time, I actually thought about the weekly word for a whole day after coming up with it. Usually it hits me and I record. Yesterday I ran, it hit me, and I didn't have the courage, honestly, to pull the camera up and share this, because I thought it was just maybe a little bit too much. But I hope it helps you. My active grieving instills courage. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Happy Labor Day.